Some of you might know her from her own YouTube channel, the Meg Slaymaker channel. I am so happy to have in my studio, I'm doing that again, the one and only Megan. As you know her, Meg Slaymaker, but I like to call her my sister. Yeah. So happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And we are going to have some fun with this drama. Stop doing that!
Yeah.
Oh, so this drama, I have to admit, it came out in 1987. It was the third in the series. Mm-hmm. And after a 5-year hiatus from making Bible-based dramas, Watchtower came back with this one. But I will say this, in the intervening years, convention after convention, we always looked forward to the drama, right?
Oh, yeah.
And young me was always so disappointed. Oh, it's a modern day one. It's not a Bible one. Oh, it's not exciting enough. Because, Bible. Yay.
I was like the opposite of that. I'm like, another Bible drama.
Yeah, don't judge me. I'm sorry. I'm awake now. But yeah, no, this drama, I was really, really excited about it. When it came out, I was at the convention really late in the day on, I guess it was Saturday, and they started doing the rehearsal on stage.
Right.
And I started to hear some of the audio, and I was like, oh, it's going to pick up where the Moses Part 2 drama left off. Oh. 8 years old. Yeah. Shaking my head. Well, everybody's shaking your heads now, aren't you?
Well, it makes sense why you were so excited about it. It's pretty much the only thing that anyone looked forward to in a convention. Yeah.
And I think even too, like, in all fairness, the Kingdom Ministry articles about the conventions, they would always say, and of course the highlight. Yeah. Not like, the new publications, I guess those were, but the big thing was the drama. Mm-hmm. Everybody made sure that they were in their seats for the drama. Mm-hmm. Because for everywhere else, there were always people wandering the corridors, talking to each other, visiting, catching up, having to snooze, you name it. So,
trying to use the bathroom as many times as possible in one session.
Yes. In fact, okay, jumping ahead a year or two when the Young People Ask book came out, and they asked everyone aged 9 to 17 or whatever to sit down on the ice level to be part of like this new publication and everything.
Right.
So I actually sat down on the ice level by myself. Bruce and Robin were up in the stands. My brother was off in some other section sitting with some of his friends. I was all by myself. And the entire session, one afternoon session, I cannot count on one hand the number of times I climbed the stairs to go to the bathroom and just hide out in there for a while.
Yeah. Well, it was the best way to kill some time because it literally felt like you were just staring at the clock. And like when I went to conventions, it was at Rexall Place.
Me too.
And they had the big like timer for like when they'd use for hockey games and stuff. And I'm like looking at the time, counting the minutes, like, oh my God, when is this gonna be over? Oh
yes, I remember clock watching.
Yeah.
One at each end of the arena and all that, and just be looking at the drama, or I'd be looking at the program.
Yeah, the program.
And then I'd be staring at the clock.
Yeah.
This guy's 2 minutes over.
Now we're gonna be even longer.
God. And always like the last talk of the convention.
Oh.
They went over all the fucking time.
Oh yeah.
All the time. It was brutal.
And then you'd have like the last guy up there really zealous giving a 5 to 10 minute long prayer. You're standing there, like I would hold hands with my mom on one side, my sister on the other, and like fidgeting, just like waiting, and then our hands get sweaty and you wipe them off and you hold hands again.
Yes!
Like, when is this gonna end? And then finally when it's done, everyone's like, amen. And you're just like, oh, thank God.
Yep. That's what you thanked God for when it was all over.
Thank you, Jehovah, for finally bringing this day to an end.
Yes. You really do hear those that call upon your name. Hey! Right. And with that segue, let's get into this expositional drama.
Yes, that's pretty much most of this drama.
Yep. In fact, we might have found the title for this episode of Your Childhood Drama. I mean, yes, we name them after the dramas, but then we also have the AKA title.
Yeah.
This one, Expositionally Expositional.
Yep. I get that. That would be a good one.
I think so. Yep. So, because, it's been 5 years, we need a flashback. So, previously on Watchtower Babble Crap Dramas, we have Moses is giving his farewell speech.
The days have drawn near for me to die. I shall no more be allowed to go out and come in, as Jehovah has said to me. You will not cross this Jordan.
And he sounds so sad and depressed.
He really does.
Like the poor guy.
Poor Moses. Like,
One mistake.
You just feel really bad for that guy. Like, wandering, taking them into the desert for 50 years. But he was wandering around the desert for a long time with them Israelites. And he was told he'd get to see the promised land. But
missed it by that much. Sorry, Moses. If only you had stuck to the script.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, hey, at least you got to see it from afar.
Yeah.
That's something. Yeah.
Enjoy the view, you did.
I think it's over there. But I don't know. I've been wandering around here for a long time. I think we've just been going in circles. Mm-hmm. Is it over there or what? Gosh, I don't know. Joshua is now the one to lead you. Yep. I retire.
Yep. Joshua is the one who is going before you.
It was that voice.
Yeah. Just, So, and just so you know, we have some notes here, so, because there's a lot.
There's a lot
going on and a lot to, like, poke fun at in this one, so.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking from an outline, study point number one. Yeah. So, let's see. All right. So, Joshua decides that it's time to send out some spies.
Right.
And go out and check out the land, because this worked out so well the first time. Go and take a look at the land. Yeah, it's been about 40 years, but, just see how the people are feeling and come back to me with a report. I picture an alternate take on this where they come back like, you wouldn't believe the fortified cities, they're even taller now. Oh shit, that's another 40 years now. Can we get ourselves another couple of spies, please?
Yeah. I mean, we only have tents here. What are we supposed to do with these cities?
Yep. But, hey, he did send 2 and that would have satisfied the 2-witness rule.
That's true.
Yep. Actually, I'm just going to go off on a little tangent here. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking about that whole 2-witness rule. So you had Joshua and Caleb that came back the first time. 2 witnesses saying, like, yeah, it's all well and good. But then you had 10 others saying, we're dog meat.
Yeah.
So if you have 10 versus 2, whom do you listen to?
Because the Bible only says you need 2.
Yeah. 2 or more witnesses. So which version of the truth is it?
Yeah.
So the spies wind up coming to Rahab's house. And this is so much fun.
Come in.
Knock, knock, knock. Hello.
Yeah.
And Rahab's response.
Come in.
Ooh. Oh, she sounds ready for business.
Oh yeah, she was ready. She had the open sign.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine like what they used to decorate around the open signs back then?
Good
what
question.
could that have been? I wonder. But the imagery is just killing me with this one.
you can't help but just think of her as like on her chaise lounge or something like that. Just,
spread out, ready.
Yeah. Harlot gear on full display.
Harlot gear.
Harlot gear.
I know.
What is that?
It's probably not much.
Yeah, there you go. What do you think biblical era lingerie looked like anyway?
It was probably long garments of silk or something. Yeah, and they probably just uncovered themselves a little more. Just a little more.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair. Yeah.
Especially if it was acted out as a drama.
Oh, yeah.
Those ladies would have been covered up head to toe.
Honestly, when it was being acted out on stage, I think that the actress that was pantomiming Rahab may have been dressed more modestly than some of the women sitting in the audience.
Yeah, the women in the audience were like, I need to get me a husband at this convention.
Right? As Goat-like personality said, it's like mating season.
Yeah.
So, shout outs to Goat-like.
Yeah. Hey, Goat-like!
Woo! Love your stuff, brother. But yeah, he called it like mating season. And really, like, you if you were walking along ice level during the sessions when everybody's in their seats, you didn't dare to look at the stands because if you looked, you could see right up some sisters' skirts, right?
Yes, I bet that was great for all of those lonely old men who couldn't find wives.
And their bare shoulders too. Whoa.
And actually, it wasn't usually men that had that problem. It was usually women who had the problem in the organization of not being able to find a husband.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why they were dressed like that, because they're like, please!
Look at me! I'm ready!
And meanwhile, Rahab's on stage, fully clothed.
And she's the harlot.
What does that say for some of you witness women in the audience? You better think about what you're wearing.
Y'all done dress less modest than a harlot. Time to call the drumhead judicial committee.
Yeah, judicial committee.
Yeah.
The
drumhead committee.
Drumhead. And this is a new thing.
That's really what they ought to be called. Yeah. But that's a whole other video altogether. So.
Oh man.
But now here's the thing. Imagine just for a moment Rahab saying come in. What would it sound like if Stephen Lett delivered that line? What do you think that would be like? Come in! With the hand gesture too. Right. Come in! Along with the money!
We have more coming in.
Oh!
Then we have going out of the harlot's house.
Yes! Yes! We have more coming in than pulling out.
Oh man. Maybe we should rate this one 14.8.
Warning! Parental discretion is advised.
We make a lot of harlot jokes.
Oh yeah. But we're not slut shaming Rahab at all.
No.
But we do have to wonder because these men, these spies, when they come in. And Rahab, she's like, welcome to my humble home. We were told that we could find lodging here. And the other one, and a good time. Apparently that's in the outtakes reel.
Yeah.
Were the men of Jericho trolling these two spies?
Yeah, they must have been.
Oh, you want a good night's sleep? Go to Rahab's house.
Meanwhile, those Israelites are just thinking there's a nice little B&B over there. And they stomp off, and then the people from Jericho are like...
It gets good Yahweh reviews.
Yeah.
5 stars.
Wait till the Israelites get there.
Oh yeah.
Let's see if they'll listen to their God Jehovah then. Once Rahab gets a hold of them.
She'll have them calling on the name of Jehovah all night long.
All night long. All night long. All night. Ooh.
So, and the other thing that I just want to say about this, when they knocked on the door and you heard on the other side of the door, come in, you think that the one spy might have turned to the other one like...
Right, no kidding, right? They're like, she sounds a little bit too eager for us to be coming in.
Or maybe the one spy said to the other one, too late.
Yeah.
Already have.
Oh, man.
So, after some bread and wine and everything that they're only going to pretend to drink because holy mission, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Some exposition about why they need to remain alert.
Right.
Won't be the last bit of exposition.
Yeah.
Rahab says, are you sure there's no other way that I can be of service tonight?
Yeah.
Huh? And the spy is like, well, no, we're just going to be gone in the morning. The sound of dejection.
She was so upset.
Are you sure there is no other way in which I may serve you tonight?
No, thank you. We'll eat and retire early so that we can be up before the dawn.
As you say, my lord.
She's just like, as you wish, my lord. Like, just really upset about it. It's like, lady, come on. You're being given a break from all these crazy men out there coming in trying to sleep with you, and these guys don't want to. Just accept it. Just be like, oh, thank God. But no.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, okay.
As you say.
I was really wanting to do my job as a harlot, but...
She was hoping to be the harlot in a spy sandwich.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Maybe she thought, because she had an inkling all along that they were Israelites. Right?
Yes.
So maybe she thought that she could sex her way into the promised land. Any other way I can help you?
Yeah, come on.
Instead of paying me in money, you can allow me to live.
Yeah.
So then she had to figure out another scheme after.
Yeah. Had to be something else.
Yeah.
But, to Rahab's credit, and again, let's take this story at face value. To Rahab's credit, she is very perceptive. I mean, when she finally calls them out for not actually being from the land or whatever else and knowing that they are spies, she lays out some very concrete evidence. Like, you come to the house of a harlot and you don't want to bang.
Yeah.
I give you wine, you only pretend to drink it, and all you want to do is ask me about the people. Obviously, you're spies. I mean, come on, your cover's blown.
Yeah.
You have indeed come to spy out the land.
What are you saying? What do you mean?
Do not be angry with your slave girl, my lords, and let my soul find favor in your eyes. I am not your enemy.
And then she reveals that she's not their enemy.
Yeah. So when she says, oh yeah, you guys are definitely spies, and they were like, what are you saying? And they were like kind of angry about it. So her voice, you can kind of picture it in your mind as you listen to it, right? And her voice, it seemed like it was scared when she was like, oh, I'm not your enemy, my lord. And she's talking like that, and I'm kind of thinking like, what were these men about to do? Because you can't obviously see it, you're just listening to it. But on stage back then, do you remember, did the men suddenly stand up aggressively?
Did.
Or?
And even on the drama, you hear like the table or the chair or something move, and you hear footsteps, like as if she's backing away. And I do remember what this looked like on stage. The guys stood up from the table and really advanced on Rahab,
oh my
do
God.
not be afraid, don't be offended, my lords.
Yeah, wow.
Oh yeah, she put up her hands I'm not your enemy,
Holy.
Yeah.
So they really made those guys out to be quite vicious when they realized they were found out.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep. They didn't take too kindly to having a woman actually be more perceptive than they thought she should have been.
It almost seems like that, right?
Yeah.
Like she was really afraid of what these guys might do to her, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, wow. They almost should have made the Israelites a little bit nicer if they wanted to portray that
You'd
they
think.
were.
You'd think.
but they were like right away about to attack her.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you think about it too, I mean, this is really the way a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses are now towards apostates that ask them any questions or try to like challenge them on certain things. They either, if they don't run away, they're all up in your business.
Oh, yeah.
All up in your face, you know. And then, like, video footage has been seen of this. Like, even old men that are, like, being recorded, they are, like, right there. Yeah. Right there. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Some of them are very angry at the fact that, how dare you voice anything against our religion. And you know what's funny about that is it's not even against Jehovah for them. It's against the organization. Yep. And yet they don't realize that that is so culty that it's not even funny. But they don't even get it. But they get so offended when you say anything about the organization. And it's like, why are you getting offended? We're just talking about a corporation, basically.
Talking about people.
Yeah.
Like, many apostates that I'm friends with and talk to and everything, like online and whatnot, there are many that are still very much religiously inclined. And I do not hold anything against them. I'm more of a humanist, as I've been learning, like, where I kind of fit in on the scale or whatever. I'm more of a humanist.
Yeah.
Do I believe in God? I think I'm at the point where I kind of believe that God exists.
Yeah.
But I'm much more about, like, trusting in human beings than I am a psychopath that's also known as Sky Daddy to some. Like, but that's me. Yeah. But like, many witnesses, you know, you speak against human beings.
And you're speaking against their God.
Yeah.
That's what
so who are they really worshiping?
Exactly. They intertwine the two without even really realizing they're doing it.
Yeah, pretty much. This episode of things that make you go, But, yeah. So, all right. So, Rahab wants to be saved. And the thing is, she doesn't yet have a means to be saved.
No, because the sex, they don't want that.
That's right. So she's not going to curry favor that way.
She's got to do something else.
But wouldn't you know it, as she's trying to think, well, how am I going to be saved? Somebody's at the door. Apparently she forgot to turn off the open sign.
That's why I was actually picturing, like, a sign.
Yep.
And...
like a cab driver that has, like, for hire, forgot to turn that off. Yeah. She forgot to flip it.
Yeah, she forgot to say closed for business.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's somebody by the name of Heather. Heather. What a name. Where does Watchtower come up with these names? So as he's trying to boot down the door and get some, find out about the spies.
She's pretty sure that he wants to get some.
Yeah.
Well, so she says.
Well, even the way she says, like, you know, your voice has the sound of that of Heather.
Yeah, she knows right away it's Heather. Yeah.
Must be a frequent flyer. You know, frequent customer. He's
Do you have your points card here?
Yes! Exactly! Yeah. 6 nights, the 7th one is free. Like,
I don't want to see you tonight, Heather. You forgot your points card.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Heather. You've been cock-blocked by a couple of spies that don't even want to use.
Yeah. They just want lodging. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Just lodging and some bread and wine that they won't drink. Yeah. God. So as she's busy stalling with Heather, she's she's giving exposition to the spies about what's on the roof and how they can hide underneath it.
Yeah.
And the best part is, like, when they're finally upstairs, she goes and opens the door for Heather, the wild man, as she calls him.
I think she said in the thing, Heather, why didn't you just say that? Because he's like, I am here on business of the king. He has to make, like, note of that because obviously he uses Rahab for other means.
Yeah, I'm not here for the usual Rahab.
Yeah. I'm here on business of the king. And then she's like, well, why didn't you say that instead of yelling like a wild man? The door is open. You can come in. Like, it wasn't even locked. He just starts banging on it. He didn't even try to open it, which is, like, kind of strange. You would think that if he was going in under a mission to get these men. He would have just barged in if it was open.
Well, Heather's very chivalrous, you see.
Yeah. The one guy in Jericho of that time who was maybe...
Or maybe he's a vampire and has to be invited in before he can come in.
Yeah, she's like, it's not open, or it's not locked, you can come in. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, then why didn't he just do that? He's clearly doesn't care. He's just gonna barge in. So why not just barge in? Like, come on, Heather. You're giving her a chance to hide these spies, and then you walk in.
Here's Heather on the other side of the door when she tells him it's not locked.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Why didn't I think of that? I don't know, boss. I don't know. What's wrong with you?
Right?
Yeah. Oh. So, and then he comes walking in like, bring out the two men.
Did you have a tough day, dear?
You don't hear the guys with Heather.
No.
Kind of like tossing the place, trying to find them or anything.
No.
They don't even seem to think to go up to the roof. We don't hear any of that. No. Rahab just kind of makes up this story. Like, what have I to do with these two men of whom you speak? And it's like, they weren't men of Israel and they came into your house.
Like, he knows that she must know unless she's, like, being stupid.
Yeah.
Like, come on now, Rahab. They're not the usual customers.
Mm-hmm. We've got your place under surveillance. The Jericho NSA has its eyes on you, Rahab.
Yeah.
So, but then she's like, oh yeah, no, they came in here, we had our good time, and they left. Chase after them.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure you'll be able to catch them.
You'll overtake them, have your way. I mean, catch them. Yeah. Yeah. And off they go, and then you hear her footsteps up to the roof, and now she's got to give them some exposition about what's just happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, this was like a 5-minute long section of the drama where you're just listening to them going back and forth about, and now, my lords, may you please do to me such as I have done to you with this kindness that I've spared your life, and you can spare my life, and those of my family. And then they're just like, okay, well, this cord that we shall go down the wall, you must leave it in the window, so that we don't kill anybody in this house. And those who leave the house, their blood will be upon their own head. But those who stay in the house, we shall surely die before they do. Yeah. And blah, 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 blah. And then she's like, oh, just as you have said, so it shall be. And they're just going back and forth for I don't know, it must be 5 minutes. It's not as... I was just saying pieces of it, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're just going on and on and on, and none of it sounds like how anyone would talk to each other.
Not even lawyers talk to each other this way. I mean,
nobody. Even for back then, it just does not sound like a normal, natural communication back and forth. If you're making a plan to escape and then also to protect this family, it should go like this. Okay. See, as you can tell, I live in a high-rise. Well, not a high-rise.
Yeah.
So you have to get out the window. So here's this thing. Go down this thing. And then don't kill me because I saved your life, right? And then they're just like, okay, great. Leave this in the window. Nobody will come to your house. Everyone who want to live, keep in that house. All right, later, bye.
And don't tell anyone because snitches get stitches.
Yeah. It should just be pretty much summed up like that. But the wording is so ridiculous.
What we actually get is more like... All right, Rahab, if you look at section 2, subparagraph 12, point A, if you tell anybody about this matter of ours, which matter are we talking about again? Right, the whole not killing you thing, you're dead. Now moving along to subsection 13, scarlet cord, keep that in the window.
But won't that give away that I let you out the window?
There's no provision in this contract for that, so yeah, sorry. Maybe we can do an addendum on that one. We're all out of ink, so parchment, there's only so much room.
Well,
last but not least, if you wouldn't mind signing in blood, if you don't mind. Yeah. Oh.
Perfect. I've just out of my menstrual.
Oh! High five. Yes. Oh. Yes.
That is unclean blood, Ray.
Yeah. Oh, you've defiled the.
in the tub for 3 days.
Oh, we're ceremoniously unclean. What are we going to do? Is this null and void? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's setting a pattern for every husband in the future ever. Yeah. So,
oh, man.
Yeah. So, cut back to the camp of Israel, and what's going on? Exposition about what happened. Although at the very least, they didn't do everything word for. They said like, and this way and that way we spoke to her and everything.
Yeah,
so like, just
Yeah, they cut out some exposition, but it was still an hour and 16 minutes to listen to.
Yes.
Mostly of exposition.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So there's that. Like, okay, that we've got your signed contract with Rahab here, and maybe Jehovah will make the way out for her. Yeah. Leave it in his hands.
Yeah, like they make this big deal about, we'll definitely keep you protected. Then it's just like, well, Jehovah will.
Something, but fingers crossed.
Even though they got that cord in the door so that their own people might turn against them, knowing that she let us out. But, that's not in the contract. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's face it, she lives on the city wall, so maybe nobody's outside of the city so they can't look at it. Maybe.
Or they might be like, somebody gonna be hanging themselves in that window later.
Yeah.
The spirit of dejection, I think, is
right.
it? So a lot of depressed people, if you want to die, you go to Rahab's house. She's got a little something for you there. Don't you worry.
A scarlet cord.
Yeah.
Quite fitting.
Yeah. Exactly.
Fitting.
So.
Man.
So, where are we at now?
I don't even know.
Okay.
This is a good part.
Yeah. So now we have Rahab and her family discussing everything else.
And they sound also like normal, and it's like, it's just very strange that this family has a harlot for a daughter, but they're all just so normal, happy family, having a nice conversation around the family table or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of weird.
It is. It really is. And we have a few new names introduced. We have Zima, who I believe is Rahab's sister-in-law.
Yes, yeah.
Obel,
Sister or sister-in-law, I can't.
One of them.
Yeah.
Obel, her brother.
Yeah.
Let's call him Obo from now on.
Yeah. I like that better.
Yeah, he has a very musical voice. And then we also have Rahab's dad. Let's call him Grandpa. Because
Gramps. He just has such an old man voice.
He does, yeah.
So Gramps, Obo, Zima.
Yeah. And Rahab, and one other person that's not even named.
No, it's her mother.
Is that who it is?
I think it must be her mother. So Grandma, so Grams and Gramps. But it's like, but she barely talks. She says like one little line and nobody even acknowledges her. It's kind of like the older you get as a woman, you get even less acknowledgement.
Yep. She was also in the room.
Yeah, she was there. She made one comment and nobody acknowledged it.
Can you imagine the actress that had to pantomime this woman? She really had nothing to do on stage, just kind of sitting there.
Sat there.
Maybe they started making things up for like, well, why don't you walk around a little bit as if you're making yourself look busy?
Yeah, probably. She probably was. She had to be busy. She's a woman after all. She got to be busy around that house.
Yep. Yep.
Maybe that's why she wasn't talking much. She was too busy washing things.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. Yep. Director's choice on what you want to do with this rather mute character, really. Yeah. So they're talking about, their concerns and everything else, and Zima seems to be a rather reasonable person in the room. Like, she knows, like, they're on the other side of the Jordan and everything. Like, how are they going to possibly get here at flood stage?
Yeah.
And cue the family worship, because Gramps has a story about the Red Sea. Or is it more exposition?
Yes, exposition of the Red Sea.
Yeah.
He wasn't there. He just heard a story of someone who supposedly was there.
Yeah. This eyewitness, this single Ethiopian that saw it in the middle of the night. And so we get this exposition about something that happened 2 dramas ago.
Yeah.
6 years ago in the drama
Watchtower
timeline, in the Watchtower drama timeline.
Yeah.
over 40 years ago in the whole Bible narrative. And Zima, as he's telling this story, she keeps interjecting.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Until finally it's like, quiet, Zima!
Yeah, Oboe just jumps in there and it's like, quiet, Zima!
Yeah. Apparently Oboe's out of tune a little bit with, actually, like, letting women be able to speak. So, yeah.
No, but, like, Zima seems like the only one who has any reasonable and understandable doubts about this god Jehovah, right? Because basically, Rahab starts saying that, oh, well, Jehovah parted the Red Sea, and Zima jumps in with, Rahab, we weren't around when that supposedly happened. How do you know that that's just not a legend? Mm-hmm. And then there's like this pause, and then Rahab's like, do you believe that it's a legend, Father? Haven't you told me this story many times? And then her father's like, he jumps in and he's like, oh yes, Rahab, I have told you this story many times. And Zima, you are foolish.
To deny so quickly something you know very little about.
Wow, right? Like that line is so perfect.
Yep.
Basically just, it's like, okay, so how about when Watchtower denies evolution?
Scientifically proven?
They know nothing about it. Like, literally nothing. Everything they've written about the topic is so ridiculous that it's not even worth argumentation. With somebody who understands what it is, they look at that and they just laugh. Right?
Yeah.
And yet Watchtower just uses their horrible propaganda, and they're like, yep, evolution doesn't exist, denied, that's it. Story over. And it's like, dude, how dare you deny something you know so little about?
Yeah, exactly. And I just think about, like, when an apostate asks a witness about child sexual abuse in the organization and they, like, quickly deny it, like, oh, no, that doesn't happen. Oh, but haven't you heard of the Australian Royal Commission? Wait, what? Can I show you this newspaper article?
No.
That's apostate lies. So
back up the cart and run
let's
away.
go. Run!
Please, it's too much. We can't handle it anymore. Please stop.
Or they'll just leave the carts behind and run away.
Oh, John Viney. I love you, man. Can you tell the difference between a real witness and a professed witness?
Pack up the stuff. Let's go.
Abandon the car! Run!
Oh, man. They honestly treat us like we have the plague for just asking them a simple question.
Yeah. But, so much for speaking out fearlessly.
Yeah.
No,
and remember, we are foolish for denying things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Watchtower was subtly trying to put a message across to the audience. If you don't believe something written in the Bible that we all believe, then you are foolish!
Yeah.
Because you know nothing about it. And it's like, well, neither do you.
Yeah.
Like, why do you believe it? You have the same proof as I have, proof.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the foolish one for not believing it?
Yeah. and even the whole idea, like, the grandma in the room, she goes like, oh, it's no use, Zima. The story's been told so many times.
Yeah.
You know what else has been told so many times? The story of all of the Marvel superheroes. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that they exist.
Yeah. Or what about the story of St. Nicholas?
And
Santa Claus?
Yep.
Those have been stories told many times. Every year for a very long time.
Yep.
Does it mean they're true? Watchtower would say no.
Yeah, they would say no, except for, this. Well, what's the difference? Run!
Exactly.
Yeah. This family worship session winds up ending with Rahab spilling the beans about how she hid the spies, and Zima...
She's just going on a fit.
Just losing her mind. Like, her anxiety is just getting ratcheted up.
They made her very neurotic, and I think they purposely did that to make her character less likable, because she brings up really good points, but they have to make her annoying by making her voice and her neuroticism just a little bit higher than the average person.
Yeah. She's got to be the crazy person in the room for thinking critically and even having any doubts.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, Yeah, as Rahab's going on about all of this, and then, and even using, like, that technique, what is it called? Oh, exposition. About the exposition of the exposition in an expositional way.
Yeah. Some more
Expositionally speaking. Yeah. So Rahab spills all of the beans about this, and the others are kind of right on board with it.
Yeah.
Except for Zima. She's like, this scarlet cord will hang you. Like, are you batshit crazy?
Yeah.
Quiet, Zima.
Like, and that's when they tell her to be quiet, isn't it? Right at that point, and it's like, she's actually thinking a little bit more ahead of things here. Mm-hmm. Supposing that this God Jehovah that she has doubts about even exists, she's thinking about your own lives, and you're just like, quiet, I don't want to hear it.
Yep. I have no interest in living.
Yeah. Pretty much.
We're done for, that's all there is. So Rahab then says, like, we've got to gather everybody into this house. And so on. And they even, like, they do this sort of comparison game, like, well, what about Sihon and Og? Like, these were powerful gods, which, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
They weren't able to stand up against Moses.
Yeah.
How do they even know who Moses is?
Yeah, there's so many things, and it's like, I don't understand how these people are even aware. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Oh, and then they say Moses doesn't lead them anymore. It's a new man now.
Yeah, now Joshua leads them or something. Like, they know everything.
How do you know all of this, right? Like,
Jericho has their own spies that have infiltrated the camp.
They have their own version of the CIA.
That's right.
They called it. What could they have called it?
The Jericho NSA? The JSA?
The JSA,
yeah. That's what we'll call it, the JSA.
They have their JSA out looking around, and the JSA reports back, guess what? Moses doesn't get to enter the promised land.
All over some failure to stick to the script. See how crazy these guys are? Yeah. So where are we at now?
Gosh, we're never very far. No, there's one thing I wanted to say, though. Every time they're in exposition about what Jehovah supposedly done, there's this music in the background that is just like do 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 do, and it's like so dramatic, and I'm listening to it thinking like they were really trying to like piggyback on like the Star Wars hype of the time or something.
I think you're on something there. Yep.
Because I'm just imagining like the Star Wars screen with words just like coming up as they're talking.
Yep.
Because you can't act all that stuff out on the stage. So like they were just literally mouthing the words with this
and making big gestures like so everybody in the arena could
pretty much. And it's like it would have been just better to like have a screen that people look at with words coming up and the music in the background.
Yep.
They were pretty much trying to like steal some of that Star Wars hype, I think.
I think so. I think you're right.
They wanted to be in with the pop culture of the time.
Well, and now here is something though. I mean, Watchtower is all about making the movies now.
Yeah.
And they've made movie versions of some things that were even in like the previous drama.
Yeah.
And they, in 2019, they did the 2-part Josiah movie, which previously was one of the audio dramas and a future episode of YCD. Well, imagine if they made a movie version of this.
Yeah.
How would you dress Rahab? I'd love to know. I'd love to know.
Watchtower put out a video about women wearing immodest wedding dresses because their shoulders were showing.
Yep.
How are you going to dress up your harlot now?
Yeah. Because honestly, like, okay, the Revelation book, its grand climax in your hand. I mean, that's not the name of it, is it? No, it should be.
What about the Live Forever book with the stern porn star on one of the pictures? She's like in like the water, like with the water up to here, but it's a real life woman from a porn magazine.
I would love to know who smuggled that magazine into Bethel.
Yeah, and who painted that? Why would you paint that woman? Like, you're gonna obviously at some point get found about this. Like
somebody's wet dream. Like, let's put it into the book.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Maybe there wasn't even a magazine that they recollect. It's just a magazine from their past before they went to Bethel, and it seeped into their subconscious mind.
It from memory because of all of the time. Okay, yeah. No.
Stop now. Okay. See,
that's going down a dangerous path.
Yeah, we go so off topic here. We should get back to.
Okay, so the last thing with regards to this whole bit with Rahab and her family. We'll gather everybody together, and Zima, having turned her anxiety up to 11, is like, what of me? You're my wife. You will remain also. Sexist much?
Yeah, like she's got no choice.
That's right. Zip it, Rahab. Zip it, Zima.
Yeah, and what's funny too is Rahab is like, well, if you don't want to come in, then you don't have to. And it's like, Rahab's just so eager to be like, yeah, F you, sissy, go die.
Yep.
And I'm like, why do they all hate her so much? It's like her whole family hates her.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like from this. And it's like, why are they hating her and not the harlot? But like, it just, the harlot, they're speaking such kind words to her. Like, they're saying, like, there must be something you're withholding, Rahab, because you don't say things lightly, Rahab.
Yep.
But it's like, they're all so, like, happy with Rahab, but poor Zima opens her mouth and they're just like, quiet, Zima!
Mm-hmm. And even on stage, this is a kind of memory that I have at times. Like, on stage, it was always like Zima stood alone, and it looked like a friggin' judicial committee with them all on one side of the table, and Zima was on the other.
Yeah. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
It was us versus you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But now we're back in the camp.
Yeah.
And it's time to talk all about everything that's happened in the past 40 years in another expositional way. Yeah. And just, oh my God, it goes on forever.
Yeah.
And this is our last chance to also check in with Hotep, who was from the very beginning Pharaoh's right-hand man. Probably held his pee-pee for him while he went to the bathroom. We don't know, but this guy has been with the audio drama community from the very beginning, and now he's with the Israelites and about to enter the Promised Land, and he's got to do some exposition about that.
Yeah.
And everybody that died. And all of the ones that didn't.
Yeah. It's a long, drawn-out process.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I have to wonder to myself, like, okay, is this because it had been 5 years of not dealing with this story that Watchtower had to do like these expositional flashbacks?
I think it's because reading the story in the Bible and trying to translate that into real life, like I imagine this wasn't an easy task, because the stories in the Bible, like that whole section of the Bible, for me, like, I've read it many times, but, like, did I always comprehend everything I was reading? No. Because my mind, like, checks off, like, every second paragraph, and then I gotta reignite it to keep reading it. So they probably just had to really explain to people the timeline and what actually happened, because there was probably a lot of witnesses that didn't actually know.
Mm-hmm. That's a fair thought. I mean, when you think about, like, and again, like, face value from Watchtower's point of view, Moses supposedly wrote like Genesis through Deuteronomy and the book of Job. Although there's no archaeological evidence to prove that it was.
No.
But
anyway.
So Moses had this way of writing where he would list something, and then when somebody was going to talk to somebody else about it, they would go through that whole list again.
Instead of just being like, see chapter whatever paragraph.
Yeah. And like even Gramps, when he's telling the story about the Red Sea, he lists, Pharaoh and his war chariots and his cavalrymen. Like, why not just say all the Egyptians?
Yeah.
That was easy. That was very efficient.
And then by the time you're finished with that sentence, I forgot you said the sentence before, so I have to like go back in time to like listen to that again. It's just, the way the Bible is written, especially in the first 5 books, it's like.
Do you think maybe these Bible writers were paid by the word? Right?
Maybe.
That's what it was? Like, the longer you can make it, we're gonna make it rain shekels on you.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That would have been hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
That, like, okay. Yeah, that brings up a whole new imagination.
Whole other things to make you go, So, yeah. Okay.
I think that's why they had so much exposition.
Yeah.
But it was a very annoying though.
Yeah. And this drama, like Meg said, it's over an hour and 15 minutes long or something like that. Like this could have been a 45-minute drama without a bunch of this exposition. Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
But, now we have to have some exposition about crossing the Jordan and the rocks that are going to be put in the middle and as proof that they actually stood there and all the rest of this. And we have this little kid by the name of Emna, which I'm just going to call Enema.
Enema?
From now on.
Okay, so Enema. Yeah.
Enema has the most overeager voice.
Yeah.
Mother, Father, come quick! Look what they're doing! I will be the exposition vehicle now. Really
excitable.
Let's describe what's happening for this radio play and so on.
Yeah. Like he's a child, but at the same time, like it was a bit over the top, as per usual for them.
I mean, they didn't have like some childhood actors like we have today back then. So we're stuck with Enema that is going to exposition some more. Exposit? I don't know if that's the word, but is going to deposit some exposition on us.
Enema seems like a fitting name for all these other words.
It really does. It really does. It's just gonna shove it right on up there about what's going on and crossing over in these rocks that they're putting in the middle of the Jordan or whatever to prove to future generations that the water's dried up just like at the Red Sea.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask about this because, like, who was actually going to swim to the bottom of the Jordan River
to find these rocks?
Yeah. With what gear were they going to do this?
Yeah, did they have scuba gear made up? Or maybe they were just saying that, well, Jehovah will help us. They probably just thought Jehovah would magically make something available. Lift the rocks up through the water. I mean, I don't blame them if they actually saw the Red Sea part. They might think that.
So, and now we're on the other side of the Jordan. Oh man, may our days be long. Now, what are we gonna do? It's time to nip the tips.
Right. Oh my gosh, that part. And like they were like, what?
I'm with you, Hotep. Circumcised?
I know. Why must we get circumcised? Well, because that's just the law here. It's like, no choice about it.
Only in this way can we remove the reproach of Egypt off of us. You don't think Hotep would have like, hey, that's my people you're talking about there. No. Show some respect. No, that's it, because apparently the stain of Egypt is all on the tips of the dicks.
The excess skin needs to be cut off. Jehovah, why didn't you just make men without it then?
Yeah.
Instead of making it a sudden requirement.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I know today witnesses don't think you have to do that. It's just like, if you want to, whatever. But, like, why? Why would any god make us to have it and then be like, cut it off?
I actually changed my mind about that, so instead of like magically making them all go away and every new child from now on not having it, I am just going to cause you guys to surgically remove it every single time.
Yeah.
I'm just reminded of that scene from the movie Year One with Abraham.
Therefore, to signify my covenant with the one true God, I shall on this day circumcise the flesh of my penis, and of you, and you, and of you, and of every male who dwelleth hereby.
Excuse me?
Just, like to people around him, that's what he must have seemed like. Just absolutely batshit crazy. The Lord God told me to do this. Didn't he also tell you to offer up your son? Don't talk about that. So. Yep. Time to get circumcised and nip the tips. And then there's more exposition about how dangerous that could be. Because, what if the enemy attacks the camp? Oh, don't worry. Well, Hotep apparently still has a little bit of his critical thinking Either that or it's just for our benefit because as a thinking person in the audience, you're probably thinking that exact same thing. You just crossed the Jordan. Jericho is right there.
Yeah.
And now you're going to incapacitate your army.
All your males. Like,
yeah.
And it's so funny. They're like, we won't be able to fight for at least 3 days. And I'm thinking, 3 days?
Oh, I think it'll be
longer than that for adult men to get suddenly circumcised. And now, like, they're walking around. Nope, it's a good thing they wore loincloths back then and not actual underwear. That's probably why, because so many adult men got circumcised that they're like, we gotta think of a different way.
well, even too, like, because we're talking about these guys that are going off to war in 40-year-old loincloths.
Yeah.
Chafe much?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, these poor bastards.
I'm feeling uncomfortable now. Like, all you guys out there, you're feeling the sympathy pains, right? Like,
I'm not a guy and I feel the sympathy pains.
I got a cold can of Coke here. I'm just gonna. So, yeah, and then this is the last we'll hear of Hotep. You know, he's all happy about what a great victory it's going to be to just go off and kill a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, they're very excited about that.
Yeah, they're really
bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bloodlust in this story.
Yes.
There really is.
Yeah.
You know, and so after all of this, it's time to go back to Rahab's house.
Yeah.
And more exposition about how long it's been. You know, let's move the clock ahead 5 days. It's been 5 days.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, they gotta tell us in the audience because no one would really remember from the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So throw that in there.
And Obo is talking about how it's all like they're just fast asleep in the camp. And poor Zima, she's just, she's losing her mind.
Oh, yeah.
Just really scared as well, like you should be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just witnessed this,
you'll be fucked.
Really, like, whoa, you know. But Rahab and all of the others see this as like proof that, like, no, everything's fine.
Yeah.
For us, because
we made that deal. And by God damn it, they're
I signed it in blood.
Yeah, menstrual blood.
You can still smell the fresh. Oh no! Cut that part out.
Like, Rahab, that's disgusting. Go have a bath for 3 days.
Come on, you are unclean.
Oh man,
the mental imagery I'm getting in my head now is just won't leave.
Yeah. Although in Jericho, would they follow those same ideas about that? Probably not. Probably not the way the Israelites would have.
Yeah, I don't think they would have.
I mean, it was probably not like enjoyable for them, but I mean.
Well, I mean, like, not to be disgusting, but like, you know, even like modern day, there are some women that even when they are in the middle of their period, they still want to have sex and they don't mind. Like, it's perfectly fine for them, like, physically speaking. Like, there's no discomfort.
It doesn't do anything to them. It's just the man that really has to think about whether or not he's grossed out by it. Mainly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. Yeah. So maybe in Jericho they didn't have the same kind of rules.
Well, you know, they were just such a filthy, disgusting people deserving of death.
Yeah, they must have enjoyed all the blood. They probably saved menstrual blood in jar.
And signed contracts with it.
Oh yeah, so that's what it would have been like. Signed in blood. She'd been like, okay, hold on, let me just crack open this. Ding, ding, ding. Put this feather in the tip there.
Yeah. Just the tip now.
Oh gosh. Okay, anyway, see? This is what we do. We just go way off topic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I can't even remember where we are in the story now.
Back. So they're at Rahab's house again.
Oh, yes. Okay. At Rahab's house. And now we hear the Israelites are approaching the city. And they're like, they've got the horns coming and everything else. They're all afraid. And let's exposit a little bit more. Let's deposit the exposit. about what is that they're carrying. Oh, it must be the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Here's what it means. And all the rest
and they
of this.
knew all of it somehow.
What is that the other priests are carrying on their shoulders, Rahab?
I don't know. Why, it must be the Ark of the true God, the Ark of the Covenant, representing Jehovah's presence.
But it's all covered up.
True. It said that no one can look upon the Ark and live.
Oh.
I've heard it was always in the lead when the Israelites were on the march in the wilderness. It's a sign of the presence of the true God in the camp of Israel.
The JSA is really...
They're good.
Oh, yeah.
They're on their game.
Oh, yeah, comrades. They know all the things that they want to know. Yeah. You know, like, how does Rahab even know about this? Like, did we have, for example, and this is something that I thought as a kid, in all seriousness, I wondered, when the whole death sentence of you're going to wander for 40 years, I wondered at times if there were some deserters from the camp that were like, fuck that. I'm going in by myself. Like, me and my household, you guys want to walk around for 40 years? That's fine.
Yeah.
We're just going to settle in a quiet part of the country and mind our own business because this desert is horseshit.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know? For all we know, there could have been like deserters from the camp that are living in Jericho, and that's how they know about the Ark?
Maybe.
Right? Like,
you know, like, you would think that some people wouldn't want to be wandering around the desert for 40 years. And, you know, I actually heard semi-recently that it's pretty much impossible to wander around that part of the desert for 40 years and not find anywhere but desert. Like, it's impossible. So it's like, why the hell were they wandering for 40 years? They just enjoyed living in tents in the desert? Like,
and a camp of that size?
Yeah.
Like, you know, on some of the videos, like when they do the aerial shot showing the camp, and you have like this enormous area in the middle where like the pillar of cloud and like the tabernacle is, and then the arrangement of the 12 tribes around it. We're talking about literally millions of people.
Yeah.
That are
how
living
many
together.
of them would have died?
Yeah.
In the desert.
Well, okay, in the previous episode of this show, we did learn about huge swaths of them getting killed at once, like 24,000 here, 5,000 there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, for millions of people, that's a very small percentage, but I mean, 24,000 in one swath? Well, you know, hey, that's the people at the extremities of the camp. We're just shrinking inward. Like,
yeah.
But I wonder that too. Like, it's not a huge area.
No.
Like, the province of Alberta, like Edmonton has almost 1 million people. The city of Calgary, 3 hours to the south, has 1.5 million. So that's 2.5 million people there. Just put the population of Calgary and Edmonton and double them.
Yeah.
And you have, I think, like the estimated size of like the Camp of Israel.
That's
give or take.
A lot of people.
Yeah. And how spread out is Calgary and Edmonton?
Oh.
Like, if you take away all of the apartment buildings and like the skyscrapers and give everybody a tent plus the latrines, which they had to dig holes outside and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 40 or 50 years in the desert like that. Nah.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't.
No.
Like, and then like, you know, having it rain bread.
Manna.
Anyway, that's all in the previous episode.
Yeah.
But yeah. So here they are. They're walking around the city, and they do one lap, and Zima is like scared out of her mind, and then the Israelites are like, "Psych, catch you tomorrow," and they're walking back, and Zima is like. Yeah. She even says, like, I will die of sheer fright if they don't get this shit over with.
Yeah, because she's just so anxious and on edge and just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And she's just like, they're walking away. They're not going to do anything. And she's like, oh, I'm going to die of sheer fright. And it's like, okay, settle down.
Yeah.
Take a chill pill.
There's some CBD oil that could be really good for that.
Back then, they may have had that.
May have had it. Yeah.
Probably not the Xanax.
Probably. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, have Enema come and give you something. Oh man. So and then we flash forward to the 7th day.
Yeah.
And they're going to give us some exposition about how they've been doing this for 7 days now, and you know they're just about to start the last lap. Yeah. That's
pretty much what it's like. Like they should just have the music in the background, do, 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 and then blah 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 blah. Because like at the end of it, you're like, okay, I heard all that, and I still don't even really know where we are. So like, just pick up where you left off.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't even think that they needed the first day in there.
No.
They could have jumped forward like a week and a half.
Yeah.
From the whole nip the tip scene, and just said like, you know, here's what happened, just to kind of bring us up to speed. But
yeah, that would have been a little bit less exposition, right?
Yeah.
They could have just like right after nip the tip, jumped all the way to like Slab and General Steve. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
We're getting it.
Yeah, they just and then finally you have the Israelites. They finish their 7th lap, and instead of starting another one or leaving, they turn towards the city and let out this battle cry.
Listen, it's the terrifying war cry of the sons of Israel.
And what I love about this battle cry, and I've always thought this, the recording of this, get a whole bunch of men in a room together. All right, guys, we all need you to yell out as if you're at war. Yeah. But we're not supposed to learn war. I know. Just shut up, Bob. Brother
just think
Bob.
Of 300.
Yeah. And what we want you to do is yell out random stuff.
Yeah.
What does it sound like? 300 or whatever men going,
It totally does.
Yeah. That's exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and that would have been really interesting to record. I really can imagine all these like guys in their suits in Bethel and just like
yes, and like and probably standing in like Bethel's Kingdom Hall. Or the assembly hall
worship.
Or something. Yes.
They probably
everybody in the dining room.
They probably did it at a morning worship. It's like, ladies, you can't chime in.
Yeah.
Because you're not allowed. But men, all the men here, we're just gonna get the sound clip for a future drama. I just want you all to pretend you're at war and start yelling whatever comes to your mind. And then later there were some judicial committees because some of them really got into it.
Yeah. First they come to mind, I'm horny! Wait, no.
I need another pillow!
Another high five! Yes! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then try and remove that from the recording. Can we just kill the mics in the back room, please? Yeah. We don't need that. Oh man. Yeah, and then the walls start to crumble, and Zima, just having been gaslit by all of this marching around the city, she's like, we'll all be killed, and runs out of the house, and then the efforts to stop her are so overwhelming.
Oh, let's get out! We'll die
Sit
here!
down,
No,
Zima.
we're safe here, Jehovah's promise!
The west wall must have collapsed. Everything's collapsing.
Jehovah's forgotten us! No, Zima! Zima, don't! We'll all be killed! Zima, don't go outside! Oh, Zima!
Zima, don't!
They're probably all just secretly like, oh, thank God she's leaving.
It's probably more like, Zima, no, oh, woe is us.
Thank God she's out of here.
I know, right?
God, she was so annoying.
Critical thinking and everything? Like, who needs that? Oh.
But we got Rahab, so it's all good.
Yeah. Don't worry, Obo. It's looked after.
She's willing and ready.
Oh, yeah.
She got snubbed that one night with the Israelites, and she's been really ready ever since.
Yep. Just so ready. And after Zima falls to her death, and this, honestly, it sounds ridiculous.
We'll all be killed! Zima, don't go outside!
Rahab's brief bit of mourning. Oh, Zima. That's it.
She was destined to die. Like, as soon as she expressed a doubt, you knew right then and there, okay, she's going to get killed off.
Zima, you just signed your death warrant in your own critical thoughts.
Yeah. Jehovah was like, oh, somebody's critically thinking. Her. I will make sure she dies.
Pretty much. Yep. I will move her to run out. That's all that there is. Oh, she should have stayed. What do you mean? I didn't make her run out. Yeah.
Pretty much.
And like moments later, the spies show up. Rahab, you're here? Well, yeah. Like, come quickly. And then Rahab, having totally forgotten all about this family member that's just died, feels the need to, once, like, for the second time in the conversation, share the name of the drama. Jehovah does hear those who call upon his name. Let's go!
Yeah, just like he heard Moses and then said, nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Joshua's getting it, not you, Moses.
That's right.
Even though you've called upon my name many times. Screw you.
Mm-hmm. I heard you. I ain't listening.
Yeah.
And this is the last that we'll hear of Rahab in this drama, but interestingly enough, according to biblical narrative, she actually winds up becoming one of Jesus' ancestors.
Yeah, so she got her reward.
Oh, she got something going on back in the camp of Israel. And just picture this, okay? So you have the Israelites, they've been in the wilderness for 40 years and all the rest of this. These haggard, weather dried up people and so on. In comes a harlot.
Yeah.
Oh man. Of course she was gonna become an ancestor of somebody.
Right. There was no. It's like as soon as she laid on the new lounger, they were like, "Oh, that's what that's supposed to look like."
Oh. I see you shave.
Hey, our women don't. They don't look like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man.
All these husbands in Israel, my wife, she's just so dusty.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Probably roaming around the desert all them years. Thank your God, Jehovah, for that.
That's right. You're welcome. Enjoy.
What can I say except you're welcome?
Oh Lord.
So
it's terrible.
That's the end of side one of this drama when it was on cassette. Audio cassette.
You remember, because you remember having it go.
Oh yeah.
Flip.
That's right. Flip that shit over, you know what I'm saying? And the best part is, like, after that whole thing of, like, Rahab just saying the name of the drama for exposition's sake, really. Mm-hmm. You have this dramatic swell of music. And then that side of the cassette, you had to flip it over.
Did it say? Was there a voice that said?
No, thankfully there wasn't.
Because I remember those in some
I
of
do
the
too.
Some of the cassettes I used to listen to of the Awakened Watchtower.
Yep. I even remember some of these read-along books where, like, every time you hear this sound and it was like a chime or something, make sure to turn the page.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Like we can't figure it out by looking at the page.
That's right. That's right.
Watchtower had to make it implicit with some exposition.
Oh yeah, they deposited that exposit.
Yeah.
That's the subtitle of this episode.
Yeah.
So
Side two.
Now we have like another dramatic swell, and let's do some exposition about what we just heard, and let's repeat the sound of the city collapsing.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like, such filler, and you young kids with your MP3s and everything, you don't know the struggle of having to flip a tape over.
The struggle is real.
That's right. My nephews years ago did not know what cassettes were just to look at them. Yeah. And he even had to ask, like, Grandma, Grandpa, what are these?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
It is. But I bet you there's some people watching this who are like, cassettes?
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this too, like the MP3 recording, you have the dramatic swell of music, and then a brief bit of silence, and then another swell of music, because, that's how the audio cassette was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, insert intermission here.
Yeah.
Insert your bathroom break here.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Oh, gosh.
So we come back up, and now what they're going to do is they're going to tell us this story about Achan and his family and everything. And Achan, just before we get into this story, to me really has nothing to do with the overall theme of the drama, in my opinion.
It's just kind of another story thrown in there. Like,
for what they're trying to convey, like that you can trust in Jehovah and everything else. This story flies in the face of all of that, and we'll get into that. But so Achan, we hear him and somebody else, and they've got to give us some exposition about how you're not supposed to keep anything when you're looting the city, or else you'll bring ostracism upon the camp.
Take nothing as spoil, or you'll bring ostracism on the camp.
And the way that guy delivers that line, you'll bring ostracism upon the camp.
Yeah.
Sounds like a young Let.
Yeah, maybe it was.
Maybe it was. Yeah. I mean, this is 1987 when it was released, so if they spent a year making it, 1986.
It's like Stephen Lett really wanted to be involved, and they're like, okay, I don't want to offend the guy because he's an up and coming GB.
Yeah.
But we can't give him too many lines because
he's a little weird.
Yeah. Let's just give him this one. And then after they did it, they were like, poor choice of line.
We don't have anything else for him to do we? No, Brother Bob, that's it. Whew, thank Jehovah. And Achan, when he busts into this house.
Who's here?
Boom! Who's here? Like, he sounds like this old man.
Yeah.
This is not a man of war. This is like an old geezer.
Yeah. It's weird that they make him sound like that.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't sound like the Achan that you would imagine.
Yeah.
No.
I would honestly, I picture somebody younger, but yeah, he sounds older, and he's kind of muttering to himself about how, there's nothing here. And Watchtower does some great sort of sound engineering here. You hear in the background, things being smashed and everything, because the city is, on fire. And we even have Mr. Ostracism tell him, hurry up, the city is already on fire, and all that. And Achan coming!
Yeah.
So is everybody else with Rahab.
Right.
And he finds some goodies. He's got his own little loot crate that he can fill up. And I get it. I mean, you've spent all this time in the wilderness, and because Achan would be from the generation that was born in the wilderness, all he's ever seen are hand-me-down clothes. That's it.
Yeah.
So when he comes face to face with a fancy garment and some money and everything, hell yeah, he wants it.
What I don't understand is why aren't they allowed to have some of it?
Right? Apparently Jehovah needs it for his temple treasury, which they haven't even built a temple as yet. This is just the tabernacle.
This is just Jehovah being greedy.
Yeah.
Really.
Or maybe it's like the Garden of Eden all over again. I'll put this tree right here, but don't you dare touch it.
Yeah.
Well, what tree where?
Yeah, he was maybe testing them just to see who's gonna do it, so one of you is gonna, I know it.
One of y'all is gonna fuck it up. I just know it.
Yeah.
Which is you.
Yeah, that's what it was from.
Yeah.
Because okay, so think about it this way now. There's so many times in the Bible where the Israelites go in and destroy a city or whatever, and Jehovah says, spare the women and the virgins for yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So they're allowed to take women for themselves.
Yep.
But none of the objects. No. I want all of the objects. All the objects that you all have made, I want them for my temple.
Yeah. All the livestock and everything else too. Jehovah's got to have that.
I gotta have all of it. Take all the women. Take some of all these, creations of mine. Take them. Do what you will with them. I don't really care about them. But all of these objects, you can't touch them. I want them. It's like, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a god? Like, even if you believe in God, does it make sense that a god would say that?
Mm-hmm.
Or does that sound more like a human who wants to gather all these items for their own personal use, and then who just doesn't care about other humans? That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like to me too.
Yeah.
And then, even at face value, so this is like, oh yeah, Jehovah, he wants like the first fruits for himself, because Jehovah has this thing about getting all the first goodies for himself.
Yeah.
Well, what are you going to do with it? Why can't you just materialize it?
Yeah.
Out of thin air or whatever.
Yeah.
And for that matter, just hearkening back to my Thinking Caps Money, Money, Money episode, card inserted here. So, the Israelites brought so much gold and silver and everything else that it was way more than was actually needed.
Yeah.
And they had to be restrained from bringing it in. Mm-hmm. So there's a surplus there already. I mean, have they had to buy anything in that 40 years? According to the biblical narrative, their garments, Jehovah has been miraculously keeping them fresh, right? Yeah. They haven't had to buy food because it's been raining bread out of heaven for 40 years.
Yeah. I think I would get pretty tired of it after a while. But anyway, go ahead.
And when they started bitching about I'm so sick of bread, I was like, fine, I'll make it rain meat for you fuckers. So have they had to buy any foodstuffs or anything else? No, it's been rained down on them. So there should be a huge surplus of money.
Yeah.
From 40 years ago.
Yeah.
But no, Jehovah needs more for a temple treasury. Mm-hmm. For a temple that doesn't even exist. And even later on when David says, I want to build you a temple, Jehovah's like, I have the tabernacle. What do you need to build me a temple for?
Yeah.
So what is this money for?
Yeah. Clearly, it was just for some people who made this rule and attributed to their god.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. And then Achan pays the ultimate price for it.
Yeah. Now Achan gets this stuff back to his tent. And now we're going to get a bit of exposition about the fight against AI, the second city. Not artificial intelligence, that different kind of AI.
Every time it said AI, I was thinking, oh, yeah, never mind.
Yeah, right. Not that kind. Yeah. So, let's call it the city of A.
Yeah, A.
The city of A.
How do they spell it in the Bible anyway?
Literally AI. Just the letter A, apostrophe, pronunciation, and the letter I.
That is so weird.
AI. I honestly think it was pronounced A.
Yeah, A.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
Welcome to A. One day we'll give birth to a real fancy dude in a fancy jacket.
From here is where the Canadians were born.
That's right. A. Oh! Another one! Yes! That's where Canadians are from. Yeah. So they go up against the city of A, and they got to give us some exposition. Our spies report they are few. Well, at least they didn't give us the whole spies going out story.
Yeah, no kidding.
And they're like, to the gate, blah, 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 blah. And out comes the army, and we're getting the description like a flood they are.
Yeah, oh man. They're narrating everything that happens. Basically.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's always one guy there just narrating everything that happens.
Yeah.
Even though everyone else is just seeing it. It's so unnatural. Would there be somebody there saying, oh my goodness, now look at this. Now look at this. It's really? Everyone would just be like, we see it, shut up.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Brother Obvious.
Right? Oh, man.
Oh. So, and then I think, and this is the same guy, this is Mr. Ostracism from earlier.
Yeah.
Turn, Israel! Flee! Save yourselves!
Oh man.
And it's the same battle sound, like, all the whole, but like, now it's like, instead of like a few hundred men, now it's like thousands. That's what it sounds like.
Oh man.
So now we are introduced to He-Man.
He-Man?
He-Man.
He-Man.
We'll call him He-Man. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. He-Man has some exposition to lay down on Joshua about what happened. Yeah. And even the reason why he's there to begin with.
Yeah.
Which is so unimportant. Like, get to the point, He-Man.
Yeah. You want me to join the Woman Haters Club or what?
Yeah.
Because I'll sign.
Do you have the power, He-Man? I have the power of exposition!
Right. Oh, man.
Yeah, so he's talking about how, like, they fully expected to see A to just collapse like Jericho did and all of the rest of that, and instead they got their asses handed to them. 36 people, including He-Man's father, killed. And without warning. So let's get serious for just a moment on this.
Okay.
So at the start of the drama, you hear Jehovah telling Joshua, don't be afraid. Into your hand I'm giving this land and everything. You're going to be the one that causes this people to inherit the land I promised to their forefathers. Yes, we know, thank you. To give it to them. I know!
Yeah. He said the same thing to Moses.
Yeah, and look how that turned out. So Jehovah said, like, I'm with you. Just be courageous and strong and go for it. So these people going up against A have, as far as they know, they've done everything that they're supposed to. They sent out the spies. They put their trust in Jehovah by sending, like, what was it? I think it's only like 1,000 or so.
Yeah.
Went, like a small army kind of thing. They're really trusting in Jehovah to back their shit up. Mm-hmm. And instead, without warning, Jehovah apparently decides I'm not going to help. So what's the deal here? Because like, how is that even remotely fair?
Yeah.
Especially because, like, in a later book of the Bible, Jehovah says that he doesn't do a thing without warning his servants, the prophets, about what he's going to do, about his confidential matter, I think the New World bogus translation puts it.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, I guess there's like a small out for Jehovah here, because he didn't do something without telling them. He didn't not do something.
Yeah, he just didn't do what he said he was doing.
Yeah. He was inactive without telling them. I guess Jehovah's the OG fader.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
He must have been busy just like talking to the other gods that he kicked the ass of previously or something.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Hey, Sihon, it's your turn.
Yeah.
Go fish.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Whoops. How am I going to explain this one? Og, you got any ideas?
Yeah.
Tell them they did something bad and you're pissed at them all.
Yeah. Oh, Achan. I'll blame it on him.
Yeah, that's right. Achan, the OG scapegoat.
Yeah.
So Joshua, in my opinion, actually has something very reasonable to say about this to Jehovah. And it's like, why did you lead us all the way here just to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites? Mm-hmm. Throughout all of the book of Deuteronomy, the list of the nations that they're supposed to slaughter is listed over and over and over again, all 5 of them. Yeah. And the Amorites are very clearly in that list. So as far as they know, they're doing what they were supposed to.
Yeah.
And Joshua says, like, if only we had stayed on the other side of the Jordan, then this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
And up to that point, like, I'm with you on this one, Joshua. Yeah. I'm really with you on this. And I totally agree. And he even talks about, like, Israel's going to be known as this nation that just turns its back on its enemies, which is OG Hebrew speak for, like, we ran away.
Yeah.
Which sounds like an easier way of saying it rather than turning your back. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then he has to like apologize for asking a reasonable question, like, excuse me, oh Jehovah, what else can I say? Yeah. What else can you say?
Yeah.
Except you done fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. He should be a little bit more like emphatic, like, Jehovah, you said you would help, and you didn't.
You son of a bitch. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And Jehovah's answer to him, like, for me, it's really offensive.
Yeah.
It's really offensive. Because it's like,
get up, like, what are you crying to me for? Like, Israel sinned, they've done this bad thing.
Oh,
I'm
so
mad about it.
You're on your rag now. Is that what the problem is? Like, so there's this whole thing about like, I'll point out to you who's responsible, but I'm not going to help you until you get rid of this motherfucker from out your midst.
Right. I think he was just a scapegoat person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I may be adding a little bit to the dialogue of the story.
Just a teensy bit.
This is we should have like it's like the Quentin Tarantino telling of the Bible stories. That motherfucker right there. Samuel L. Jackson from Pulp Fiction in the role of Jehovah.
Right. That would be. Oh my God! I would pay to see that.
I would too. I would too. That would be so great.
I'm not a fan of him personally, but like him playing Jehovah, yes, I got to see it.
Like and like that character from Pulp Fiction too. Yeah. Afro and all, the wide eyes, the giant gun, the whole works. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Because, when Jehovah's mad, I kind of picture someone with big, wide, bulging eyes.
I do
too.
Like right now, I'm having a Gowron from Star Trek: The Next Generation. The wide-eyed guy. Yeah, that's Jehovah on a good day, apparently.
Yeah.
So at any rate, they call out Achan.
Yeah.
Because Achan and his family, they've all kind of sworn to secrecy about what they're going to do. Yeah. We had some exposition on that.
Yeah.
So
well, let's not get into that.
Yeah. And even like the little kids in the tent, they're all in on it. Mm-hmm. So
everyone's.
Mm-hmm. And snitches get stitches. So they're singled out by everybody, and there's like this whole separating, like just narrowing it down, like everybody get into your own tribes and then separate into households and all the rest of that, and like, all right, now this tribe over here, all right, now everybody out of this tribe get out except for this household, and everybody out of this household except for this family, like.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is like, if any of this actually transpired in history, let's say, what's really going on is someone made a dumb call to only send in 1,000 soldiers, and then they're like, we have to find a way to blame it on something. And they were like, I bet you one of those friggin' Israelites, or a few of them, they must have taken stuff. They must have been looting some stuff. They've been living in the desert for 40 years. I'm sure they took some stuff we told them not to take. Let's figure out who it is and blame it on them.
Maybe that's why, later on in the Bible we have like Jonah. Throw me overboard! Yeah. Like, that superstition. Well, somebody on the boat has cursed us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
throw him out.
Yeah. So Achan is the OG Jonah as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, so and like they have this judicial committee basically, and Achan exposits about why he did what he did, what he stole, and why he stole it, and everything, and where it's buried.
Even though we know all of this from before, but they gotta remind us.
But for the sake of not breaking the illusion, gotta exposit on how Joshua finds out.
Meanwhile, the kids in the audience are like,
Mom, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah. This is getting really old now.
Yeah. Quiet, they're getting to the good part. I hope. So and Achan is given the death sentence for for this.
Yeah.
And not just him, but his whole family.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And that's so not fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what about the whole rule that Jehovah supposedly made about sons not getting in trouble for the acts of their fathers?
Mm-hmm.
What about that, Jehovah?
Yeah. Well, and you know, like there's even this other exposition scene where a relative, I guess, of Achan's, whose husband was killed in the war against she comes sniveling to Joshua, and oh my god, this voice actress.
Oh, Joshua, my lord, must I lose my husband and now my own brother Achan at the same time? Must Achan die for the sin to be removed from Israel?
This was really poorly done.
Yeah.
Very bad acting.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are, but like, you should not have been playing that part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
But this is how like every woman in their audio dramas cries, like.
Yeah. Oh, it was just terrible.
Yeah.
You could so tell that it was fake crying.
Yeah.
Like, it was so bad. It was very bad.
Yeah, it was.
And I couldn't tell if it was a woman. Like, when I first heard the voice, I was kind of like daydreaming, and then I like got pulled back into what I was listening to from this crying. And at first, I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. I was like, what's going on? What is this? Is this a woman character or a male? I can't even tell right now.
Yeah.
I just hear the and I'm like, what?
Yep.
Oh, Joshua, my lord, must I lose my husband and now my own brother Achan at the same time? Must Achan die for the sin to be removed from Israel?
So this woman name of Bedira, as Joshua calls her, we're gonna call her Little Bitty. These names are just off the top of my head.
I love it.
Yeah, Little Bitty apparently has not yet come to know Jehovah, according to what Joshua says. And again, Joshua, I'm with you on this. She doesn't know what a frigging psychopath the God that she's worshiping is.
No.
And how random he is and everything else. But then Joshua does this whole thing about like community responsibility. Achan's sin is all Israel's sin. But this is like where the Bible kind of contradicts itself, because in Ezekiel, Jehovah says that the soul itself that is sinning, that's the one that dies. Well, apparently that was New Light, because I didn't think I would be able to get the phrase New Light out of my mouth without speaker, but like Achan does something, he steals something, 36 other people die.
Yeah.
And then all of Achan's family is going to die with him because they were accomplices.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because they hid it.
Yeah.
So
they deserve it.
They're deserving of death as well.
Yeah.
It's like maybe they just didn't want their father and husband to die.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And as Little Bitty says at one point a little bit later on, like, you know, even the children.
Yeah.
And Watchtower, in order to like kind of whitewash over this, because there would be like kids go like, yeah, even the kids died?
Yeah.
Well, we stand with our father. Right, no. I think they were just, honestly, like roped into it, like, you all fucked up, you're all dead.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, you're all done.
Yep, and they had to just like blame somebody for their failure. So Achan's family, you're all gonna die.
Yep. Oh, you're gonna die.
And Josh was like, okay, not my fault anymore that we failed. It was theirs. Theirs.
So they stone them. They get stoned.
A horror.
And not in the good way.
No, not in the way that us Canadians like to do that from.
Right. Oh, as I look over at my THC oil right there on the desk.
Yep.
Yep. We're 420 friendly.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get stoned, all of them, and burned with fire afterwards.
What a terrible death.
I know.
Like, I mean, okay, I get it. They didn't have lethal injections or like, you know, I don't know, guns and nothing quick, but like stoning to death? Why?
Well, they had swords and spears.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we learned in the previous drama about Phineas running his spear through 2 people while they were copulating.
Right.
So, you know, like, if you have that, why couldn't you just be like, all right, I need you to kneel down and done.
Like, samurai it, right? Like, it's so fast that they don't even know it happened. Yeah. But no, we want to make them all, we want to torture them and stone them, including the kids. Like, could you imagine I don't even want to imagine what that looked or sounded like.
Yeah, it honestly, like, that the bit about stoning for me, like, it used to kind of give me the chills as a kid thinking about being stoned to death. Yeah, like, but theatrics. That's what, for me, that's what it boils down to. It's theatrics.
Oh yeah.
So
Jehovah really loves making everything very theatrical for us. So that it can be translated into these riveting dramas.
So he's a drama queen. That's what this boils down to. Yeah. So now they're going to go back up against A, and this time they get to win.
Yeah.
And
did they have more armies this time? I can't remember.
Yes, they did.
They knew it, Joshua. You blamed it all on Achan, but it was all your fault.
And this time, too, even Jehovah takes the opportunity and time to be like, you know, don't be afraid. I'm with you. You know, and on top of all that, I got a battle plan for you, which we get the exposit deposited on us beforehand about how they're going to do this. And the description about how it's done. Now, one of the things about this... I'm going to have to hide my face after telling this story. We learn about an ambush that they bring up against the city.
Yeah.
Now remember, I was 8 years old.
Right.
I didn't know what the word ambush meant. And so what I pictured was literally this bush just rising up. You're like, I've got you, city.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't know what the word ambush meant.
You know what, though?
Yep.
For considering the 12 plagues, that seemed like a perfectly reasonable thing to conjure up as a child.
If Jehovah can talk to Moses out of a burning bush, then maybe this ambush is a special kind of bush.
Yeah, it seems like something Jehovah would do. He likes to do theatrical things after all. So turns the river into blood, brings upon a bunch of locusts and frogs and this is something that he would do, I think.
Yeah.
They should have made it a giant bush.
That would have been great. But so for not knowing what ambush means, keep that thinking cap on, Stefan.
It's all good. You were an 8-year-old.
I was 8. Yeah.
Perfectly reasonable for an 8-year-old, I think.
I think so too. Sort of. So, A is no more. And the king of A, they said that they caught alive and they hung him upon a stake until the evening. So the Romans didn't do crucifixion. This was Israel.
Yeah.
This was not a Roman thing.
Although staking is not really the same as crucifixion.
I suppose. Yeah.
Stake-a-fiction?
Stake-a-fiction. I like it. Yep. Put that one in Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, stake-a-fiction. It'll be like JW's version of crucifixion.
Yeah, because, we don't like to use some of that other language that Christendom uses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, now what I'm getting in my head is, Game of Thrones style Ned Stark with his head on the stake. Yeah.
Oh.
That was the king of A right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's like our trophy.
That actually might be something that Yahweh, Jehovah, would like, I think. Yep. It's pretty theatrical, so I bet you that I wouldn't be surprised if that was actually what happened.
No way. Yahweh.
Stakes on it, heads on a stake,
yeah. Yep. So, and that's kind of like the act 2 of the drama, like this whole thing with Achan. And honestly, for what they're trying to tell us about Jehovah and everything, this story doesn't really fit in.
No.
Except for the fact that, once Jehovah had kind of not held up his end of the bargain, and they call hey, WTF, Joe was like,
oh, yeah, right, this.
That's the hearing people calling upon his name. That's what I get out of that part.
Yeah.
So, he's not really trustworthy. Kind of random.
Yeah. He's flaky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jehovah's flaky, basically.
Yeah.
Come and go as he pleases.
Yep. He causes to become flaky.
Yeah. That's another thing. The fact that he said he would do something and didn't do it proves his name null and void. Mm-hmm. Because his name is supposed to mean, I am that I am. I cause to become. Yep. I will be whatever I need to be.
I cause myself to become a non-player in your war that I've asked you to go on.
Okay, so maybe it isn't null and void after all.
Yeah, just, doing his thing. I become whatever I choose.
Yeah.
I choose to remain neutral in this. And that is the source of all Christian neutrality.
Yeah. Although, that being said, Jehovah is not even, as we know, not even the name that it would have been.
Yep.
Though he listens to those who calls upon his name.
So there it is. Because they're calling on the wrong name, he's like, I don't know, they're talking to somebody else.
And then he realized, oh yeah, they called me that. That's right.
Right, yeah. Now, again, I'm just going to get a little bit serious for a second. Okay? So, in this part of the story, Joshua says that Achan's sin is all Israel's sin. Mm-hmm. So, because Achan screwed up, all Israel has to rise up as one man and ditch this motherfucker.
Yeah.
So, if that's the case, and Watchtower still preaches community responsibility, they talk about how all mankind is kind of blood guilty before God as a collective, as it were. That'll be even in a future drama. I think it's called Marked for Survival. They talk about this blood guiltiness and everything. So if this is what they believe, then if there is one pedophile amongst them, even just one, never mind the 1,006 from Australia's findings.
Right.
If there's even just one that they don't, at the very least, expel and shun and get rid of, maybe not stoning them to death and burning the body and all that, but if they're hanging on to this person and allowing them to continue to operate, doesn't that mean that as a whole, that Jehovah's Witnesses are a communal pedophile before Jehovah by this standard?
Mm-hmm. It does.
And especially if the Bible says, I am Jehovah, I have not changed. They say, well, that means his standards don't change. Mm-hmm. So if that's the standard that hasn't changed, then one child pedophile that you've covered up and allowed to remain and are actively fighting to keep secret and everything, you are a sharer in that person's sin by this standard.
Yep. So Watchtower, have you ever thought that the reason that you might be losing all of these lawsuits and court cases that are coming up against you right now is because Jehovah has withdrawn his favor from you? Because anyone who's willing to take it all the way to the Supreme Court to hide a list of pedophiles doesn't sound like God's organization to me.
Yeah. The courts are the modern day A. The greater A. Yeah. So, in the United States, I'm going to say the Zalkin Law Firm is the greater A.
Yeah.
So, there we go. Shout outs to the Zalkin Law Firm.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Yeah.
So, now we have Act 3. Mm-hmm. So, now we have the Gibeonites.
Them.
The G Crew. G Crew!
Yeah.
And that's what they're called now!
G Crew! I like it.
G Crew have their thinking caps on.
Yeah.
And they've seen what happened to Jericho. They've seen what happened to Sihon and Og. They've seen what just happened to Ai. So much so that they feel the need to exposit about it.
Exposition!
Yeah. But before we even get to them, we're in the marketplace.
Right.
And we're hearing this old man, and this guy's voice cracks me up. And I think that this is the same voice actor that did the "better off as we were" voice from the first drama.
Yeah.
Some people have suggested that this was Toni Morris.
Oh my!
They wonder if it was Toni Morris that voiced.
I'm gonna have to re-listen
that
to
guy.
that.
Yeah.
And Lil, I warn you most emphatically, don't think you can hide from me what's going on. I have ears everywhere. Continue this course of utter folly,
Randam,
and the
my
gods
brother,
will certainly...
The hour is advanced. I cannot talk. There are people waiting.
You'll see. Is this city going mad? You'll regret this foolishness.
So this guy, his voice, like, you know, I see what's going on, you and your whippersnappers. Continue this course of folly. I have eyes everywhere.
It does sound like Toni Morris.
Oh, man. So G Crew has their own secret agency.
Mm-hmm.
He's a part of it. He's
GIA?
a part of the GIA. Yes. G Crew's got the GIA because the JSA is gone. So GIA.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. So now we're going to hear a secret elders meeting, we'll call it.
Yeah.
From G Crew's top generals. And we have a few here. We have General Zyba. Big Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Z.
Mm-hmm.
His voice sounds familiar. It's the same voice actor as Aaron.
We estimate the force of the mighty men of Israel at over 500,000. They are fierce and strong. So are our mighty men.
Maybe, just maybe, Big Z is actually Aaron. Aaron didn't die and was buried on Mount Horeb.
Right.
Aaron defected.
Yeah. Yep.
Joined G Crew.
Yeah.
And now this is how they know about everything that happened in the wilderness, because that's what's discussed here.
Yeah.
The exposition is ranched way up to 11 on this scene.
Yeah.
As they have their secret elders meeting. And also in attendance we have Anlil, whom we'll call Anvil.
Yeah, Anvil, I like it.
Because Anvil's dropping some truth bombs on these guys about what's going on, like an anvil on their heads.
Yeah.
And then we have the villain in the room. We have this guy he's got the critical thinking, and his idea is like, let's fight.
Yeah.
And I can't decide, is his name Slyab?
Slyab, my brother.
Or is it Slab? Because at one point somebody says, take care, Slab.
Take care, Slab. Take care, Slab.
Well, let's just call him Slab.
I think Slab is... It makes sense. It's pertinent for what's going to end up happening to him anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that he's got critical thinking skills, he's got to be a target.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll wind up on a slab for sure. Or under one. You know, like... Either way, Slab, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But Slab is very much about the idea that, like, they should fight. Mm-hmm. You know, and he's really, like... They're saying, like, well, we should have a peace accord with J Crew. G Crew thinks that they should join J Crew.
Yeah.
Because, well, look at everything that's happened, and, you know, if we just abandon all of our worship and of other gods and call upon the name of Jehovah, ding, 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 in peace, then, you know, he'll save us. He did. He will. Yeah. Come on. And Slab is having none of it.
No.
You know, he's like, if you do this, all the kings of Canaan are gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
You know? Slab, it's a fair point.
It is. It's a fair and logical conclusion.
Yeah.
Considering that they stoned to death Achan.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, why wouldn't they kill you?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, Anvil seems to be aware that Jehovah punished his people when they became as depraved as their own people. So apparently Anvil doesn't have a whole lot of love for G Crew.
No.
You know, we're just depraved. So, but they have this idea, and Slab just storms out of the room like, I'll have no share with you and all the rest of this, and it's over dramatic.
Yeah.
Like that exit.
Yeah.
That's like a rage quit right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I say fight these invaders. It is our only hope. I will have no share with you and your plot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slab,
rest in peace under that slab.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So they go to Joshua J. Crew.
Yeah.
We have a meeting of the minds. Mm-hmm. And the rules of war that the Israelites were given was it like, out of these 5 nations nearby, you just kill them. That's it. Yeah. Later on, the rules of engagement would change and they would give people the opportunity to surrender first, but not these 5 nations. Apparently they were beyond forgiveness, yeah. So these guys had to pretend to be from far away.
It just makes no sense. Like, they're beyond forgiveness, but Rahab, at her 11th hour conversion.
Yep.
Well, her and her whole family can be saved. Achan, you and your whole family gotta die. And now I just want you to kill everyone.
Yep.
Like, how are you, is there any mechanism for, like, weighing anything before you make your decisions, or what?
I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it. And, like, even the 11th hour conversion idea, Jehovah's Witnesses believe that when the great tribulation comes along, I like a great tribulation idea.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch of tribbles. Just when the tribulation comes, there will be no chance for anybody. Like, you had your chance, it's done. Well, for the land of Canaan, your tribulation has come, but apparently Rahab and her family were able to escape, and she was a harlot.
Yeah.
And these people from G Crew, well, they come to Joshua and they say, like, we're from a distant land, and they really are playing this up. This guy's voice.
It's from a very distant land that we've come, in regard to the name of Jehovah your God.
It is from a distant land that we've come.
Yeah.
Oh, hold me up,
so
brother.
Tired. Yeah.
and Joshua, finally a little bit of critical thing, is like, for all we know, you're from right here.
Yeah.
And then they have their evidence.
Oh man, their evidence is great.
This bread, it was hot when we set out, and now it's crummy.
So of course we came from a far place because of our crummy bread.
Yeah. Well, if I leave a loaf of bread open overnight on the counter, it's going to be dried up.
Yeah.
Never mind, in the desert when you're on foot.
Yeah. He could have just took that out of his, tent that afternoon.
Yep.
Walked up to Joshua and was like, this is my evidence.
Yep.
It's old and dry and crummy.
Yep. But, well, okay, what else have you got? Well, look at our wine skins. They were new when we left, and now they've burst open. For all we know, these guys from G Crew went dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Which, in the end, they actually would have, since they're right there, we dug up some wine skins out of the dumpster. And,
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So, there's 2 lines of evidence. What else you got? Look at our clothes,
Look
man.
at our sandals.
They're all worn out from the long journey. Just chewing the scenery here.
Oh, man.
Oh, well, that's 3 lines of evidence. I guess we have enough evidence here.
Yeah.
How gullible is Joshua? You were doing so good at the start, and then... bleh.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty terrible evidence, Joshua, I must say.
And then you don't even have any sort of speak up from Jehovah at all on this matter. Like, oi.
Yeah.
They be lying. No.
No, he's just like, meh, you deal with it. I'm going to go back playing cards with Gog over here.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, gosh.
What card game do you think Gog and Jehovah would be playing?
Gosh.
Cards Against Humanity, perhaps?
on.
Just a different kind of cards against humanity. Yeah. Yep. So.
Oh man.
And once again, we hear that there is a covenant to be concluded between J. Crew and G. Crew. So once again, all right, gentlemen. So in order for us to accept you into the camp, subsection 12, paragraph 3, point A, you will be gatherers of wood. Point B, you will also gather... What's this word? You gather our shit.
What?
That's what it says in the contract. It's a standard contract, G Crew. So, you'll be gathering that for us.
All right. Okay.
And then we also have the for all eternity clause. You're good with that, right?
Oh.
It's either that or you die.
Okay.
All right. Good. This free will. It's their choice, really. Now, if you don't mind signing right here at the bottom with the tips of your dicks. Standard business practice.
Do you want me to snip off the tip first?
You know what? No, because then it'll be defiled. Like Rahab's contract. Ugh. It still reeks. No, just keep it attached. We'll snip it off later, okay?
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Yep. And that's how it ends.
The end. Roll the credits.
Oh man.
But wait, there's more. We have ourselves a little problem because just 3 days later, bum bum bum, they were lying.
And then God, Jehovah up there with God, they pull their Cards of Humanity cards, and it's like, one says, how idiotic, this one says, was Joshua for believing those. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one.
That's what she said. Oh, that's what Astarte said, because she's up there with them too, right?
Right.
Yep. So that's G Crew's God, I think.
Yeah.
So here we go. Now, why have you done this? Let's exposit about everything that you said. And now here it is. And, according to the terms of the contract, that eternity clause, what do you have to say for yourselves? Why, everything that we heard. Oh, we throw ourselves at your mercy.
But at least now we have people cleaning up our shit.
Yep. So,
man.
Big Z, his whole thing, just as good and fair in your eyes to do to us, do. Off with their heads! Oh, wait, no, damn it. This contract.
Yeah.
All right, slaves, you'll live.
Yeah.
And then later on, the G Crew actually gets to avail themselves of some of the fine print in that contract because the other Canaanite kings are now reasonably pissed off with them. It's like, let's go and wipe out G Crew.
Yeah.
So you have these other kings that are now going to wage war and everything else.
Oh my gosh, the story never ends, does it?
and it gets like this more exposition about it.
Yeah.
And the king in his letter drops some exposition about the exposition of the exposited contract and everything.
Yeah.
And the G Crew is like, they call on the name of Joshua and his people. Come up to us and do save us.
Yeah.
It's in subsection.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, it's in the treaty.
Yeah.
So they go up, there's this big war, Joshua tells the sun to stand still, and apparently Jehovah listens.
Yeah.
And I love this bit where it says there proved to be no day before it or after it where Jehovah listened to the voice of a man.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of funny considering that Moses intervened on Israel's behalf so many times and Jehovah listened to him?
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. When I listened to that, I'm like, there was like many times prior.
Mm-hmm.
And like, why would you be happy if there wasn't any time prior or after that he listened to a man? Because isn't that what he's supposed to do? Listen to those calling upon his name?
Mm-hmm. That's the whole point of the story.
And then they're like, there was never a day before or after. And it's like, so what's the whole point of this then?
Yeah, apparently Jehovah only heard and listened once. Well, he hears, just doesn't listen.
Yeah.
So, and then like, because if you think about all this, like this is a verse that's out of the Bible that the narrator is reading.
Mm-hmm.
So this is in the book of Joshua, supposedly written by Joshua. How would Joshua know what happened long after he died?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I think Joshua just didn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah. Or it was just really like building it. So like, look at me, I boss Jehovah around like my personal bitch. Like, yeah.
Oh man. I even got him to listen to me after that fiasco with A.
You owe me one after E.
Yeah. Oh man.
And then, and there is kind of like the end of the drama. They talk about how all of Jehovah's enemies had been destroyed out of the land. Jehovah's enemies. Oh yeah, they've been destroyed.
Yeah, until he makes some more.
Even of his own people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And once he got bored with everyone else being destroyed, he just turned against them and got mad at them over petty little things.
Insatiable bloodlust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Just, like the Honeycrisp cereal, you can never get enough.
Can never get enough blood. Kill some more calves for me.
Yes. Yes. And that's where the story ends. The narrator says, and it does prove that Jehovah hears those who call upon his name, because in case you've forgotten the name of the drama.
Yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility, or so, I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing I find about this ending, unlike the previous two dramas, and even many afterwards, there's no fear-mongering in the end of it.
No.
There's nothing about you better be calling on Jehovah's name now before the end comes and everything else.
Which you would think, it seemed like a perfect opportunity for Watchtower to fearmonger, like they always do.
Yeah.
It's just like the one time that they forgot or something. I think they were just getting really tired of all the exposition, and at the end they were like, okay, we're done. No more.
Done. Yeah. Well, and if you'll recall, after these dramas were over, like after the actors cleared the stage and they brought the podium, or at least the microphone back out, the speaker would come out and then spoon feed us the application of the drama.
Yep.
Did you notice, dear brothers and sisters, how insert random point here, insert this thing here?
Yeah.
I guess it fell to him to do the fear-mongering.
Yeah.
Because the drama was already like an hour and 16 some odd minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, we can't have any more like exposition in this. We're just gonna leave it to this guy now.
We've got to fill out that hour and a half a little bit more. So Brother Big Mouth, would you mind coming out and sharing a few words?
Right.
Let's have a big round of applause for the cast. Oh wait, that never happened.
No.
The cast members never ever took a bow or nothing like that. It was just, get off stage, we'll never see you again kind of thing. And that was it. Mm-hmm. So that's that drama.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, to sum it up, it's basically just a whole lot like what we've been saying all along. A whole lot of exposition.
Yep.
And the main points of it, to be honest, by the end of it, they want you to take away that he listens to, us calling upon his name, but there's even a whole section in the drama where he doesn't. So it's like, what are we really supposed to be taking away from this?
I have 3 points that come to mind.
Okay.
Rahab lives, Achan dies, G-Crew lives. So the next group of people, you're done, because the pattern is... And actually, if you think about it, let's just go back to the beginning. Moses dies.
Yeah.
Rahab lives. Achan dies. G. Crew lives. So that means, again, the next person is dead.
Yeah.
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
Right. We're just waiting. We're on edge, ready for the next drama to see who's gonna kill next.
Yeah. And fun little fact. Well, the next drama is all about Jehovah killing people.
Of course it is.
Yeah. It's all about Jehovah killing people. An entire world flooded, and then like entire cities burned to the ground because theatrics. Yeah. So, thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was a lot of fun. Hope you all had a good laugh. And, for some of you, thinking back on these dramas, perhaps it feels a bit triggering or traumatizing, thinking back on some of these things that you learned, maybe some of the nightmares and everything. The whole point of this series is not to scare you again all over or to trigger you, but to just help you to reframe this triggering mechanism that Watchtower has instilled in you, and to think of it as just something to point and laugh at. It's like the Bogart and Harry Potter, which I'm pretty sure is Watchtower approved reading, right?
Yeah.
This magical creature that looks at you and finds the thing that scares you the most. Well, that's really what Watchtower is all about. What are you most afraid of? Well, dying in a global Armageddon kind of thing. That's what Watchtower wants you to be afraid of. Yeah. But if you're able, like the kids in Harry Potter, to just look that Bogart in the eye and go, ridiculous! That's what we're doing here.
Yep.
It's ridiculous, and damn does Watchtower ever leave themselves wide open to be poked fun at.
Oh, totally. They make it so easy.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought of one thing to take away from this drama.
Oh, do tell.
Anyone who expresses a critical thought will be killed by Jehovah. That's pretty much what I think they were trying to get across to people in the audience. If you doubt anything we say, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we doubt everything that the governing body shares with us. Come at us.
Yeah. Bring it on, Tony Morris. Bring it on, Stephen Lett. We're ready.
Oh, man. Yeah. So, anyway, hope you all have a great day. Share this video. Like and subscribe. Check out Meg Slaymaker's channel. She is awesome. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm so happy I got to do this with you. It was lots of fun.
Lots of fun. Live long and prosper, everybody.
Bye.
So, we're back with a little bit of bonus footage for you here. We thought that perhaps Stephen Lett was Mr. Ostracism.
Yeah.
Well, and we already did Stephen Lett as Rahab answering the door.
Right. Hello.
Come in.
Oh, yeah. Come in.
What other fun lines could Stephen Lett have delivered in this story?
Man.
Let's think now. Stephen Lett as Hotep expressing surprise about being circumcised.
Yes.
Okay, so he's just been told that we have to get circumcised. Circumcised? What an opportunity that would be for the enemy to attack the camp!
Oh my!
No! We can't get circumcised! But you have to, Stevie. Well, it's my right, and it's my dick!
And he would say it like that!
Yep. Steve, you've got to have some humility. Humility.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. So there's one.
That was really good.
Oh my god.
Okay, what about Stephen Lett as Zima?
Ooh, at what point?
Okay, so there's so many anxious points that it's like hard to pick. Okay, so what about where she's saying to Rahab, you must have known they were Israelites, but now we've got to make it Stephen Lett. Okay, so she's going on about how you must have known they were Israelites and they were strangers to the land, and then they're gonna come up upon us and attack us. But we gotta make it Stephen Lett playing a woman. An anxious woman.
Okay. Do you want to do it or do you want me to?
I want you to, because
you want me to?
I can't even do it.
So Stephen Lett himself having to pretend to be anxious Zima.
Yeah. Yes.
Ooh. Really gonna have to dig deep on this one. Okay.
You got this.
All right. I'm seeing it now. Rahab! You must have known they were from the camp of Israel.
Right. They will hang you from that red robe.
This very scarlet color will hang you. Yeah. That's all I got. That's all I can think of. Like Stephen Lett playing Zima.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
think he would have been a good Zima.
I think so too.
What about Stephen Lett as Oboe?
As Oboe. Quiet, Zima!
Right?
You are my wife, and you will remain also!
Yes. Yep. And then Rahab as Stephen Lett pretending to be Rahab. Okay, so Stephen Lett trying to be Rahab. You can go out if you wish. For me and my father, we will all stay in my house.
There will be no one going out, only coming in.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Stephen Lett as Slab rage quitting out of this secret elders meeting of G Crew. Okay? I will have no share with you in your folly.
Oh, that's great.
Oh
man, that's awesome.
Yep. And lastly, Stephen Lett saying the name of the drama. Right? Yeah, such a sore jaw after all this.
Yeah.
Jehovah does hear those who call upon his name. Just show humility. And scene.
Yeah. Oh, Stephen.
Oh, one more bonus one. Toni Morris saying the name of the drama.
Okay, is he gonna be
Drunk Tony? Yeah. McAllen Tony.
Yeah.
Saying the name of the drama. You just gotta face the facts. Jehovah does hear those who call on the name of McAllen. His name. His name. You and your treacherous hearts. Give him my fucking boost.
And you know, if you don't tell people about Jehovah, you have blood on your hands. Look at your hands. There's blood on your hands.
You may not see it, but I can see it through my drunken eyes.
And Big Brother will protect me.
I know it's coming. A lot of dead people. A lot of dead people. Slow and hot dogs.
I feel like he was having like a PTSD moment.
Oh yeah.
Combined with drunkenness when he said that line.
Yep. Have you ever watched Happy Tree Friends?
No.
Okay. I'm thinking of Flippy, the army guy with PTSD.
Okay.